ask you. Isabella, do I have your permission to record this?
Yes, absolutely.
So every time I do this with Christopher, he's like, no, you do not. And then he laughs.
No, you do not.
No, you do not.
Got it.
I'm like, well, I'm recording anyway, so it's against your will. But
Yeah, right?
what's up, Flexies? Obviously, you could see, as always, I am in a great mood. Hey, if this is your first time watching, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I've got people all around the world, so I don't know when you're going to be watching this or what time it is. So I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Flexies. My name is Chris Eriks, aka Baby Trump, and you're watching Flex the Truth podcast. Well, I have a very, very special guest star speaker with me today. Had a phenomenal over an hour and 20-minute conversation with this sweet lady. And it was crazy because we have friends actually where she's going to be holding this event. And when I was, talking to her, something in my spirit kept saying, get her on your podcast, get her on your podcast, get her on your podcast. I didn't even tell her this. And even before she told me this unbelievable story that you're going to hear, I was sitting there like this. I felt like Mother Goose was telling me like this story, because she's a great storyteller. And I always tell people the best speakers or the best communicators, maybe not speakers, but the best communicators in life are the best storytellers, right? And I watched this guy the other night. This is crazy. And I saw two different versions of this guy, Isabella. I saw a version one where he was calm, he was cool, I could listen to him, he was soothing. And then I saw another version of him where literally he was hurting my ears when he was speaking and he wasn't finishing his sentences. And I was like, wow, this is weird. Is this the same guy? And it was.
Interesting.
So what changed him, right? So we'll get into that in a little bit. It ties into Isabella's story, right? But before I bring Isabella up, a couple of things I do want to talk about. I will not be in Dallas at the Reawakening Tour. I know there's a lot of people very upset. I've got a lot of fan mail asking me if I'm going to be there. I will not be there. I will explain later on in a podcast with other podcasters everything that's going on. I believe in the truth. I don't care who it offends, as long as it doesn't offend God. And if you offend God, especially, I'm coming after you. And I'm going to expose you, and I'm going to expel you for who you are. Now is not the time. But let's just say I will not be there. Again, I really apologize. It breaks my heart. I was supposed to speak there. And now living in Dallas, I was really looking forward to it and it being my birthday weekend. And I know I got tons of people saying they wanted to, celebrate my birthday with me. Thank you. So sweet. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Let Clay Clark know that. Let them all know how upset and angry you are. And then later on down the road, we will expose and you will find out the honest to God truth, not only from me, but from other podcasters as well. That is what we are working on now. So that is probably going to be a live show. And it's going to involve not just me, it's going to involve other podcasters. And we're really going to come out and we're going to speak the truth, and nobody's going to hold us back. So I just want to let you know about that. However, going into January, we have events set up. I know December 19th, I'm trying to set up an event in Missouri with somebody. I will let you know as soon as that. I should find out today about that. I'll give you the dates on that. January and February, we've got a lot of dates. I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida is one of them. There's another tour going around that I've been asked to be a part of. I'll be a part of that as well. March, my business partner and I decided yesterday, Isabella, you might want to be a part of this. is we're doing a Jersey Delphia event. It is not, it's going to be more of a faith event. It's going to be more of a revival and wellness, which we just talked about. It's really not going to deal with politicians. It's going to deal more with the people and Jesus Christ, and how we can make ourselves better people each and every day, right? So we're working on that in March. That's going to be a big event. We're looking around anywhere between 1,500 and up for that. And then the last thing I want to tell you is the website is done. It is done. It is complete. I'm so happy. This is something that literally I've been working on for months and months and months. Gio, thank you so much. You did such a great job. So you could go on there, you can buy the merchandise, you can get the sizes you want directly from there. I have tons of mail. You can send mail to me. Sign up for the God Squad. Now, I'm going to talk to you probably tomorrow about the God Squad. The God Squad is something I trademark. And what we're going to do is we're going to do something very special this Christmas. And here's what it's going to be. It's going to be where you join the God Squad, you wear a Christmas hat or Christmas shirt or ugly sweater, whatever. You go into a business. It could be Starbucks, it could be Dunkin' Donuts, it could be Mom and Pop Coffee. I don't care. It could be Walmart, Target. I don't care. You're going to cut the line. So you're going to get in the line. Wait till you hear this, Isabella. You're going to cut the line and you're going to go right to the front. And you're going to turn to the person that you just cut in front of and say, "Is okay, I cut the line. I apologize. But I was so excited because I want to pay for your stuff."
Cool.
How cool is that? I had that vision last year. And I was like, man, how cool is that? Right? You cut the line. All those people are going to be pissed, upset. And then you're going to turn to that person and say, I was so excited I had to cut the line because I wanted to pay for your stuff and pay it forward. Jesus Christ loves you. Have a great day.
Awesome.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that's it. I know it's so cool. What my vision is obviously I'd like to have one person in every state at least do it. Maybe bring somebody with you and video it. Literally, it's going to be 30 seconds to a minute. And what I'd love to do, man, this is going to bring me to tears. What I love to do is set up videos and do a whole video montage about that and let that go out and give that to Linwood and give it to the good people of the world and let that go viral. Let that sink into people, because you know what I hear from people? We don't have anybody. We have nobody good. No, you know who's good? You're good. You're good. You're good enough. We don't need these politicians. We don't need Donald J. Trump. We don't need a superhero to come down and save us. You are going to save us. You are going to do it. How? By doing acts of kindness.
Right.
By doing acts of kindness. And my hat says love more. And what a time to do it at this time, turning a pagan holiday into something that is just so beautiful, right? And so I just wanted to get that out. So go to the website, flexthetruth.com, flexthetruth.com. I'm being monetized on YouTube, finally. Please tell your friends, your family, your relatives, get on Flex the Truth, #1. Flex the Truth, #1. Subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like. That really does a lot for me. I'm not here to make me famous. I had it, did it, don't need it. I'm here to make God famous. That's it. Mm-hmm. Once we make God famous together, that is our superhero. By making God famous, he's going to be the one that is going to save us. So enough said. I get to bring up Isabella Lynette Marie. Very special woman. You're going to hear her story. She has an event in Branson, Missouri, which I'm so excited about, in February 11th through the 13th. So if you've never been to Branson, Missouri, I would tell you now, sign up, get the tickets, because not only is the event going to be spectacular, okay, but you're going to be in Branson, Missouri. And I have good friends, the Duttons in Branson, Missouri. They were the family that was on, I think they were the top 10 finalists for America's Got Talent. They are Branson, Missouri. They have a hotel. Isabella and I were talking about that. They have a show as well. So maybe you can catch a show, right? I know that's what Branson, Missouri is about. Catch a show with the loved one, or maybe get a group of people. How about that? Right? Take a bus tour, maybe to Branson, Missouri. There's so many things that you can do to affect what's going on in this world. So how are you, Isabella?
I am fantastic. It's every now is a great now to have a great now. I woke up and it's great. No complaints whatsoever.
I love that. Every day. How did you say that? Every day.
It's my dictionary vocabulary language. So I switch the words from day into now. So it's a great day. But I say to now is a great now to have a great now. And to now is the first now of the rest of my and your creation.
I love that. I love that. You know, we sit here and we go, you know, the present. You know, words are so deliberate, right? If you take the word present, this is the present. We are living in the present. What is present? It is a gift, right? When you get a present, how excited are you? That's why people say to me, you're so excited every day. Like, I had some woman say to me, San Antonio, do you smile all the time like that? Or like, is it like something you paint on your face like the Joker? I was like, no. I said, we live in the present. It's a gift. We have another day to fight evil, right? To fight for Jesus Christ, right? To love one another. How is that not a great day? So I love that.
I know, right? Every now is a great now. You wake up, everything's alive, you're alive, but you have breath, and it's just amazing.
Oh, and by the way, when you wake up in the morning, make sure you do IGF-1. I just talked to Isabella about this. I've got so many people buying this right now. Go to my website, flexthetruth.com. You'll get a buy one, get one free right now. Make sure you sign up. You do at least 3 months. All you do, I have 2 of them that are open, take it. Hold it for 30 seconds under your tongue, swallow, and that's it. It rejuvenates, it re-energizes, but the biggest thing is it recovers. I was 245 May 29th. I am now 212 in my girlish figure body, right? The only thing that changed is IGF-1. So make sure you go on my website, buy one, get one free. And I love that because, you know, what we were just talking about, Isabella and I, you know, she's about health. She's about wellness. So Isabella, for the people that don't know you, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Isabella.
Okay, well, just a little bit about me. First of all, I'm excited to now know that that is for women as well. So I'm super excited to start trying the formula. So that's great news. Yay. But a little bit about me. I am Isabella Lynette Marie. A lot of people call me Gypsy because I gypsy all over the place. I have an ocean gypsy spirit. I have a home and farm in Fiji. I have a land homestead in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and of course, right here in the lovely Ozarks, because it has to do with our Rainbow Warriors mission. But I am all about health and wellness. I am a certified medicine woman as well as a health practitioner. I'm also a minister for the environment, an international public speaker, a motivational speaker, as well as a health coach and a conscious creation mentor, where I assist you to expand your horizons and create the best nows ever, the life that you desire and the life that God desires for you. So that is a little bit about me. I've been on this path, on this journey. Well, I've been on the awakening journey ever since I was born with my dad, and that's the story I think Chris wants me to share with you all. But I've been an awakened soul for years and years and years. And so most people say that they have to unlearn what they thought. I'm the opposite. I'm going back and trying to figure out what the heck my dad taught me that I tossed out the window when I was a teenager. So I'm going back to relearn what I was taught. And because I was taught very, 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 very well with a very awakened dad. But I've been on the health journey. I thought I was on a health journey all my life, but really wasn't into the awakened journey where it's clean food, clean water, clean air, clean clothing. Yeah, I don't stink today. I put on some clean clothes. Clean, toxic-free clothing, that is. So I've been on this journey. It has to do with my own kidney detriments when I had a surgery at age 8. Lots of years in between, lots of things happened. Then my own son had 2 near-death experiences. He nearly died twice, literally, with 28 surgeries and 7 different surgeons in Memphis, Tennessee. And it was a curing doctor.
Is that the one that is the executive chef now?
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to meet him. Wow.
Yeah, he is
what a breathing miracle.
We will have words from him the eve now of the gala.
Oh,
he will be speaking about his, it'll be very short. I'll introduce him, tell his story, but his story is the main reason why I was on this journey and what opened my eyes to what doctors do, what they do not do, what they are hiding from you. And so it took a curing doctor in Denver, Colorado. He was not a holistic doctor. He actually did Western medicine in Presbyterian St. Luke anyway, but he just didn't prescribe prescription drugs. And he rarely gave kids anything like that. He was curing kids, is what he was doing. Anyway, that story back in 2001 and then on up. And then 2005 is really when I began my health journey to find more, to find more, to find more, and figure out, okay, if this doctor did this and this doctor did this, then what have we been missing for all of these years? So that is who I am, where I've come from, and then the journey is infinity and beyond.
Wow. So 28 surgeries? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, 28 surgeries. Absolutely. Because it's a disease called respiratory papillomatosis. And the disease affects children that it affects their vocal cords mainly, is how you find it. But most of the time they are born with it. Pretty much all of the time they are born with it because you don't contract it. It is a family of the HPV virus, which is so misconstrued. So this is where I was really open, and I went back to what my dad taught me when this doctor told me about this disease, and this doctor that cured my son after the 7 other surgeons wouldn't, not couldn't, but wouldn't, son. And so that got me on the journey of finding more, finding more, finding more. And by the way, more people, more children have died from this disease than HIV or heart-related disease, because it kills them, it strangles them in their sleep. And it does not, they die before they really reach age 4. Is what happens. So they do not, nobody really knows what it is. There's been situations that SID, sudden infant death syndrome, has actually been this. So that is one of the main reasons that I really plunged deeper, deeper, deeper and quit my corporate job. I was an account executive at regional for Lancome Cosmetics, one of the largest ones in the nation. I did that for 7 years. Went away from that because, also I knew about skincare. And so that's why I'm also a skincare expert, because I knew then. Anyway, so that's what got me on my journey. And we will have that full story. That story is on my website as well, the respiratory papillomatosis. And the tagline is, not all wheezers are asthmatic, so please let them breathe.
So when I talk to you about that nebulizer, would that help your son now at all?
Well, it probably would. It wouldn't hurt him at all. I mean, he's been disease-free and surgery-free now for 15 years. And like I said, they sentenced him to death. He would either have surgeries for the rest of his life, or he would die, or they said he would have surgeries for the rest of his life and he still might die. Yeah, I didn't like that situation at all. I said, no, I rebuke that. I'm not listening to you. Right. And I went on, and that's whenever I showed out in Memphis, Tennessee, in Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, and told them, and said, you're not doctors, you're trying to kill my son, you have more knowledge than me, but yet you can't do this. And it went on and on and on. And finally is when they gave me the other doctor that was actually able to cure my son in Denver, Colorado. Wow.
So would that be like crib death? Like, how like babies,
death syndrome. Yes. They have actually uncovered a few of those cases that it really, because sudden infant death syndrome, it's not that, oh, it's just that they don't know what it is. They can't label it. They don't know why, what disease that they've had to make them die, right? Or maybe they've had a slight stroke. But in a lot of cases, because this is a very rare disease, they have actually realized that there are kids that they've labeled as sudden infant death syndrome, that they probably had this because the mother is like, oh yeah, well, he did have that kind of raspy cry, or he didn't cry at all, you know. So I mean, it's not the parents' fault because you don't know. I just knew that there was something because of what my dad told me. Otherwise, my child, if, you know, I hate to say it, but if my child did not have me as a mom, I'm not sure that he would be here. We lost 4 children in 1 year, 4 children. And that's just the children that I know that we were trying to get to Denver. So just 4 children that died from this disease in 1 year. Who knows how many more there were. I just knew of these from New Jersey and from the East Coast because they couldn't get whatever. It was not because they couldn't, because the other doctors were keeping them. And oh, by the way, we don't know where Dr. Nigel Pashley is now. He's vacant. It's a ghost town. We don't know if he's been ousted. I've tried to look for him for the past 8 years.
Took care of your son.
The one that cured my son. We had a big, huge press conference in Memphis, Tennessee. We invited Merck Pharmaceutical. One of the reps showed up. We had the vice president of Le Bonheur Children's Hospital came, and only one of my son's surgeons came to it. I mean, we had all the media press. We had a lot of people there, but those are the ones. And we had a scientist from New Jersey that came in to talk about this disease. And then we had, of course, Dr. Nigel Pashley to come in and tell about it. And actually, he got a little girl off of her tracheotomy that she had been on it for many, many years. And that's really unheard of, to get off of a tracheotomy.
Right.
He got her off of it because most children are put on a trach because of this disease, because they don't tell you the rest of the story like they didn't on me. So anyway, after this press conference was when some of my outcry troubles began. The FDA began threatening me. They literally came to my carnival and shut my carnival down and said, we don't know what you think you're doing, but you need to stop this. There is no cure for diseases. Yeah. It was actually in a town called Bartlett, Tennessee, right next door. You know, it's a little suburb off of Memphis.
They were doing a carnival like muscular dystrophy.
Yeah, I was going to raise. Yeah, I was raising a carnival for this disease. I was raising money for this disease, and we were actually helping children to get to Denver. And we had the support of Angel Flight. Back then, we had these pilots that would fly kids, you know, freely. And we had 2 pilots that we worked with that would get these children back and forth to their care, and they helped my son as well. And so we were also raising money to obviously help with those Angel pilots, and also to help with the expenses of the family, and to also pay for this disease because or for the surgery, because it was not covered by insurance, right? So I was doing a carnival to raise money. So that's, and that again, and Merck Pharmaceutical told me, I mean, we needed something, and that's in the story that will be discussed at the event.
Wow. This is why I love doing what I do. I mean, yeah, I love, getting out with the people but learning stories. Like, if, God put us together, right, for a reason. And I'm just sitting here going, this is mind blowing, because I know so many people, that lost. I mean, my grandmother lost a child. Because of SID.
Yeah.
My uncle
very well
lost a child because of SID. She suffocated in the crib, and then they were looking at him and the wife as negligence.
Right.
I know so many people that go through this.
Yeah, this disease, and because it could be looked at that, because with this disease, the children that they strangle in their sleep, so it looks like they've suffocated, because they're suffocating and they're strangling at the same time. So yes, it would appear
put a pillow over them would be the same thing as what.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. And then what else will be discussed at the event? Now, the event, just to let people know, it's not. I'm not political. I learned my lesson years ago. I was a vigilante, so I've learned my lesson. But I don't want any politics there, but it is all about freedoms. It is all about the knowledge. It's what you know, the more you know, the more you know. And so this disease, actually, it was because of myself and Dr. Pashley, the wonderful injection, the Gardasil.
Yeah.
Thanks to us, I don't take credit for it, but because I had Dr. Pashley to write up a big paper to come to this conference that we were doing, this press conference, right? And so he wrote all about, and he was already doing it anyway, he wrote all about this respiratory papillomatosis disease. And I have the form somewhere in my stories. But anyway, he told all about what this disease is, what it does, and how it affects the body, and how you're born with it, why you're born with it. And the mom was very toxic, which I was, not by drugs or alcohol, but by just food. I grew up on Monsanto farmland. Need I say more? So anyway, he wrote. So he had all these different paragraphs, right? So literally, Eli Lilly and Merck, the makers of it, because we asked them, we needed, what was curing this disease was the mumps and measles virus, not the vaccine. We needed the mumps and measles virus, because he was from Switzerland, this doctor was, and they were already having a 100% success rate, and they were testing the virus of this papilloma and the virus of mumps and measles. But anyway, long story short, you needed that to inject it. Again, that full story is on my site. But the gist of the story is Merck turned us down. They wouldn't get the live virus. Well, we had to patent it. Well, I was young and dumb back then. But no, we have to have it. We're saving kids. We're curing kids. We need just the virus. Dr. Pashley doesn't want this. And after the third visit with Merck, they were like, you don't understand. No.
Wow.
It has to be patent. It has to be in this kind of formula. And I was just like, you're dumb. No, it doesn't. And I'm not even a doctor, and I'm calling them dumb, right?
Right.
Because I was like, this is insane. And then right after that is when I had my carnivals, and the FDA and different people came to me. It was crazy, because we had the cure. They didn't want it to get out. So it was literally after my son's last surgery, then we moved to Springfield, Missouri. And because we were in Memphis, Tennessee the whole time. So we moved over there, and it was literally less than a year later whenever Gardasil was formed, because they took a sentence out of this paragraph, a sentence out of this paragraph, a sentence out of this paragraph, and a sentence out of this paragraph. Boom! Yay! Hey, guess what? Oh my God, we've got cervical cancer on the rise. Oh my God, you got to get your girls injected. The worst thing ever. Dr. Pashley calls. Who's like, do you know what they did? And I'm like, well, I saw some advertisements or something, but I don't have TV. And then he proceeds to tell me, I'm like, we got to stop this. He's like, no, they're too big.
Wow. Formikia. It's in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Exactly.
just that. And you said something, and I don't think my listeners caught on, but I want to back up, because I list like this, so intent, right? And I notes up here.
Me too.
You said you grew up on a farm. Now, most people right now, they're like, oh, you gotta have farming, you gotta eat farm food, blah, 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 blah. I always said that what they put out on the farm, the pesticides and the chemtrails and everything, right? And we're starting to hear about it now, is far more worse, because you can't clean that off, right? Mm-hmm. So it goes from like what they call from dirt to table, right? Yes. Like from farm to table, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't clean the pestle, you can't clean whatever they have, right? So you're ingesting that. Whereas at least the other companies can, to a degree, right? So it's actually cleaner than it is farm the food. Yes.
So, and that's my expertise that I speak on my platforms for health. I spoke at the largest health conference in America, the Health Freedom Expo in Chicago. I spoke there for 3 years. They don't do it anymore. But anyway, that's my expertise that I really speak on, about genetically modified organisms.
There you go.
The MSG.
Yep.
And so monosodium glutamate, and I speak on glyphosate. And I also teach people about, it's not necessarily the genetically modified organism that is killing people, because I grew up on Monsanto farmlands in the early 70s. And so that's what sparked my kidney failure. And I had surgery. Again, it's on my website. I'll be speaking at that at the conference. So I won't tie up this podcast, but anyway, you can find that. And I teach people about the detriments of glyphosate. See, my grandparents were Monsanto farmers because they didn't know any better. They thought they were really feeding the world. My grandparents were the best grandparents ever. And they weren't greedy. They didn't do it for the money because they had money other places, right? And they even funded the whole school. You can still see the school buses, my grandparents' name on it. And you still see the monument of my grandparents in the school because they did it out of their heart. So they thought, oh, we have all the, we have thousands of acres. So, oh, you want glyphosate? Let's give it all to us. So I lost those beautiful people at early ages, at age 71 and 68. So, and my kidney surgery was not related to that back in the 70s. It's a surgery that they no longer do anymore, and caused me 27 years of bad stuff going on because it was a bad surgery. Anyway, I do very well with my new change, live it. I call it a live it. I don't call it a diet because I live for it. I don't die to it. I live for it. So it's called a live it that I'm on. I'm on a live it. And so instead of genetically modified organisms, instead of the SAD American Standard diet, I go on the glad, worldly, godly, live it. Let's say the glad diet, which is, well, as a GMO, God made only foods.
Right.
That's what it is. But there's, you know what? I've just had a total brain pain. I made it up and it's on my website, the glad diet. Anyway, it's there. It's there. Just trust me on that. And it means, isn't that crazy? I forget my own
I know.
story.
I hate that. I know. It'll come back. It'll come back.
Anyway, it's the glad
Yeah,
diet.
here's some IGF in you.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we kind of got a little bit off topic. I know you wanted me to talk about the other things, but all of my detriments of my own kidney detriment, my son's near-death experiences, and Dr. Patrick, all on my website, and we will be speaking about that. And yes, the world-renowned organic chef will be there presenting food at the gala.
I can't. Now, I didn't tell you something about me. I used to be the assistant director for Le Cordon Bleu out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
So,
cool. So
I had the best of the best, right? I taught, I didn't teach. I was actually the one that brought them in, right? I had missions counselors, right?
Right.
Actually,
Cool.
our school was the biggest recruiter for Disney.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And so, so I know I'm a foodster, you know, I love to cook myself, but
nice.
When you told me that about your son, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yes. His is to live for. His food is really to live for. We don't die for it either. I don't use the phrase to die for. I use the phrase to live for, because he walks the walk, he talks the talk, and he does everything that I do. And he's even fired his clients from the Hamptons. He's walked off of a yacht because they don't adhere to his standards like he has in his contract. So if you do not adhere to my son's standards of clean eating and feeding his crew clean as well, that's why he earned his world-renowned status. And now people hire him from all over because he don't waver. And his is the best of organic foods.
Oh, I can't wait. And I love that. He doesn't waver. Like that's the whole
compromise
in the world.
He has billionaire clients, multi-billionaire clients is who he works for. He don't care who you are. Bye.
You know why?
Bye.
They're the same way. They don't waver. The reason they are the way they are is they don't waver. The people that waver will never get to that. Right? And like your son is the same. I'm the same way. I don't waver. And I know, like you heard me talk about in the beginning, like it's going to come out because I'm about the truth. I'm not about let's hide this. You know, I'm being interviewed for a podcast later today. And they said, Chris, what are you comfortable about? I go, everything. Like,
right.
About this, I go, nothing. Understand me, nothing is off the table. So you ask me anything because you can't say I'm about integrity, right? Say what you mean what you say, and then all of a sudden, but you know what? We'll let that slide. You know, we grew up on a little bitty white lie. So I'll tell you this story. You'll love this. It's in my speech. You know, people say, "Oh, it's not a big deal. It's like a little sin, nothing big." I go, "Oh, so you're saying that if I made these brownies and it was my great grandmother's recipe, right? And I made these brownies and there's a special ingredient, but I'm not going to tell you what the special ingredient is. I'm going to make them and then I want you to eat them. And then as you're eating them, I'll tell you after you eat them, because you're going to love them, I'll tell you what the special ingredient is. Fair enough? Now remember, it's only a little bit. And then you eat the brownie, like, oh, this is so good. You can have another. Oh, absolutely. Here you go. After your third brownie, like, oh, God, like, what is the special ingredient? I go, oh, I forgot. So you see my dog right there? Yeah. You see when he excrements the poop? Yeah. See, I take a little bit, like maybe a fingernail, like, you know, my pinky, not my thumb. my pinky. Let's not get crazy, right? And I put that in the brownie mix.
Right.
What's wrong? It's only a little bit. It's
Mhm.
only a little bit. Come on. When you talk to people like that, they're like, oh, I get it.
Right. I
Dude,
love it. I love that you do that.
they
Yeah,
don't get it. They're like, oh,
they
this
don't.
is
They
okay.
don't. And I love the part that you said earlier, Chris, about you can't wash that off. I use that. I always take a plant inside my seminars with me. What I do, there's that a plant right here. I always take a plant. And so I ask people, how do they water the plant? And they're like, well, you know, they water it in the soil. I said, well, how do you water your garden? Well, of course, they water the soil. I said, okay, so you're picking these tomatoes or whatever off the plant. Well, how are you going to clean that plant? Well, they say wash it. I said, yeah, but where did all of the, if you're putting fertilizer and pesticides, I said, where did all of that go? And they're like, well, it went in the soil in the plant. I said, okay, so again, how are you going to wash that tomato?
You can't.
But we wash it off the skin. I said, but the tomato just absorbed it. I said, how do you think the plant grew? I mean, they don't. It's like,
You're right.
and then they're like,
100%.
whoa,
I love when they're like, oh, did you wash that? I
right,
look at them like, okay, like, and then they're making me look stupid. Like, wait a second. If I wash this, it's gonna do nothing. It
right.
literally, you might get some of the dirt off and stuff like that, but it
Mhm.
literally is not gonna get all those chemicals off.
Mhm. Which is why you eat clean and refrain from that and go to your local organic farmers and know your sources.
And I'll tell you, the best thing I've done in the last probably 2 years is juicing. And when I
Yes.
say juicing, people look at me like, yeah, you probably do steroids. No, I'm talking about getting a juicer, I do kale, spinach, ginger,
Yes.
apple,
Yes.
and I'm missing one more.
Lime, beet.
Cucumber. And I drink
Cucumber, yes.
that, and it's nasty looking. I call it the
It's,
green machine. Oh,
mhm.
it's so good. It's so
Add
good.
some lime. Add some lime. Lime just, I like lime though. I love
Turmeric,
lime.
put some
Yep.
turmeric in or
Yep.
cayenne. I don't do
Yep.
turmeric, I do cayenne with ginger.
Uh-huh.
And you do that twice a day. I had a
Yep.
guy, here's a true story.
Mhm.
Didn't do IGF-1, although he's on it now. He
Mhm.
lost 60 pounds from juicing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I mean, that's
Had him
true
juice
because, you
3 times
you're
a day.
getting the nutrients. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
getting the nutrients where they go.
and he
Yeah.
said, man, he's like, I would drink it 3 times a day, like you told me, Chris.
Mhm.
And he lost 60 pounds. Why? Because one, you're getting all the nutrients, right?
Right.
And you're being full, right? And so then you're not getting all that other crap that and your body, the most important thing is balanced.
Right.
The reason we gain fat and we don't burn muscle and stuff like that is, do you know, I eat a loaf of bread a week? What? Yeah. Yeah. I make this French toast. You make French toast. I eat 4 pieces a day. I kid you not. But I made it anabolic. Well, what does that mean? So I use cinnamon. I
Mhm.
use egg whites, pure egg whites. Okay.
Right.
I use 45 calorie bread, 4 pieces, Sara Lee, right? I use 1 scoop, and this is the key, of designer whey protein. And then I use like almond milk, like a quarter cup of almond milk. That's my batter. And
Perfect.
vanilla extract. So now here's what happens. I get best of both worlds. I get the protein, right? I get the 50 grams of protein, which is a lot for breakfast. And then I'm full. I'm full. What happens
Perfect.
is we eat, we take in all that garbage, and then we're
Mhm.
hungry again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I teach people in my book, Fuel for the Body, that I forgot to mention that I have 4 books out. Fuel for the Body, The Art of Health Restoration, Cleanse Your Gut to Free Your Mind, which there's 3 more series, Cleanse Your Gut to Heal Your Heart, Cleanse Your Gut to Soar Your Soul, and Cleanse Your Gut to Fuel Your Body. But the first one is Cleanse Your Gut to Free Your Mind. What goes in your gut comes out of your mind as well. And then what you just said in my Fuel for the Body book, it has 14 chapters in it, all the way from skincare, which is at the very last chapter, to exercise chapter to sugar, salt, meat. I have a meat chapter. I have a vegan chapter. I have a vegetarian chapter. I have something for everybody, but it's all about clean eating and how you are incorporating it. It doesn't matter how much you are eating. It matters what you
Yes.
are eating. And then I have my famous protocol in there, chapters 7, 8, and 9, which gives you the exact protocol of how to lose weight, gain weight, or just maintain weight. Whatever you need to do, my protocol is ironclad, has not failed anyone yet, and Fuel for the Body. So yeah, I do that.
Yeah, you are what you eat. You
Absolutely.
are what you eat. And
Absolutely.
and people don't understand that, right? Like what you're putting in your body, it affects people go, your skin, but you tan. How long have you been tan? I've been tan since I was 16. I would lay on my roof in the summertime in Jersey with baby oil on, hello, on a roof and cook and cook. Right? So people like, oh my gosh, like the elasticity of your skin, like because all the water that I drink, because of what I'm putting in my body, the way that I feel, flex your mind, flex your muscles, flex your dream, mind, body, and soul, right? So not only what you're putting in your body, but like who is around you? Like who's your circle? Do you have an inner circle or do you have a prison cell?
Right.
Because the people around you are either going to lift you up, they're going to nurture you, right? They're going to feed you good things, good thoughts, right? Good feelings, lift you up, raise you up, or they're going to rip you apart. And that toxicity around you will affect you and also, Isabella, affect the way you eat.
Right.
It starts from the outside in, not from the inside out.
Absolutely. It's
So
what you feel your soul.
Think about it right now, everybody, right now. Just think, do you have a person that you consider toxic? Well, Chris, what do you mean toxic? I mean, do you have somebody that is jealous of you? Do you have somebody that is envious of you? Do you have somebody that won't clap for you? Do you have somebody that just constantly rips you apart, tears you down? That is toxic. Do you have somebody that just constantly needs and wants and from you, like a succubus?
Yes.
That's toxic. If you have one person, well, that's my sister. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. It doesn't matter if it's God says this. It doesn't matter if it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. You are to love me more. What? What did Chris just say? You are to hate your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. You are what? Does he mean to hate them? No, he means to love him more. To love him more means that you can't have that toxicity around you.
Right.
My brother was toxic, and I didn't speak to him for 7 months. We tried to talk to him. He was going through his second divorce. He was in a very dark place. He was a nosebleed going downhill. He wasn't working. He had no money. He had 3 kids. His wife's having an affair on him. And he's sitting there in a bedroom with no light on the floor. And I'm like, what are you doing? What's your plan? I don't have a plan. What do you mean you don't have a plan? So then I was like, look, dude, you got to get your life together. Like, he's like, I'm good. I'm happy. Lose my number. He found the Lord. He found Jesus Christ. And 7 months later, texted me and said he missed me.
Nice.
And because of that toxicity he was surrounding himself around, when he broke that, he did everything I told him to do. Sell his truck, get his deed, take that money, get a place to live, met a woman that had Christ in her, right? And then, whoom, the minute he met her, she's like, oh, what about your brother? He's like, I haven't talked to him. She's like, pick up that phone and text him, right? And then him and I became closer. He's going to be proposing to her real soon. So that's really exciting. She's a sweetheart. But it's so crazy you getting that one person out of your life. It'll change the way you feel, eat, and think.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I tell people. This is the age of Aquarius, and it really is the age of the great divide and purge. And, people think that I'm so hard-nosed and I'm so cold-hearted that you would turn your back on people. No, I don't turn my back. But it doesn't mean that these people have to be out of our lives forever. It just means at the moment and now. And guess what? I want to transcend over here. I'm not going to be stuck down here. So I'm going to transcend. You're welcome to come with me, but I'm not going to wait on you. The seeds have been planted, and I believe that now it's harvest time. Yes, we should still be planting some seeds because there are some stragglers out there, but that's the way I live my life now in the Garden of Eden. I'm not perfect at all, but I strive to live that life.
Right.
And I know we've gotten off topic. I know you wanted me to do this
I know, but that's okay, because I'm going to have you on again. And I think this was, and I love this. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I love my show. This is why you guys love it, right? Because we don't have a script. It's not, I'm not sitting here throwing her softball questions. You know that, right? But we literally got off topic. Why? Because the Holy Spirit wanted us to. Because I learned things that I never knew about. And I'll bet you right now, as I have goosebumps going throughout my body, there's a person or two or more that is going to see this, Isabella, and their child died of SID.
Yes. And please look at that disease. I will encourage everybody, please look into it. It's on my website, but it's called Respiratory Papillomatosis. Yes, it is a mouthful, but it affects the vocal cords, the lungs, and the esophagus. And my son was only diagnosed from the vocal cords up. He kept having laser surgeries after surgery on his vocal cords to remove those polyps, whereas his was a slow aggression, but they were in his lungs and his esophagus, which is why he was never cured, right? Because they didn't get to it like they should have on purpose, because the more surgeries you have, the more money you have. And I accuse them of this. So yes, if this can touch one person and they wonder if your child is wheezing, if they are not crying very loud, if they're not always gasping for air, but maybe they just don't really have a voice as a baby. I thought my baby was the cutest little baby. He just has a little bitty sweet cry. And I was back then, I always took my child. Now, we never did immunizations because I didn't believe in that, but I always took my child to the doctor. I had him in a hospital. And so his pediatrician said, don't worry about it. He just has colic, or he just has this. He didn't have colic. Oh, don't worry about it. He's just a quiet baby. So please, I caution all parents with new babies, grandbabies, loved ones, friends, if they are not really wheezing, but if their breath doesn't sound right, or if they're not loud talkers, or if they have a really raspy, it might start out raspy, definitely get that checked out. Definitely. If your baby does not cry very loud, definitely respiratory papillomatosis.
Well, you are an absolute blessing. Didn't know that about your son. So literally, I again had two revelations today, one about your son. And it was great because I even said it to my friend, I was like, I can't wait to meet her son. And I didn't know why, other than he was an executive chef. But I was like, I was so excited. I didn't do any research. And I was like, I can't wait to meet her son. I'm like, I'm really excited. I go, I don't even know why I'm excited, but I'm excited to meet her son. So what I want to do, I want you to have the last word. The last thing I want to do is I want to share your website that you just got done. It's absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. Thanks. It's still a work in progress. We're still working on it. This is one of my 7 websites.
So
and
this is it right here. You can sign up for her newsletter. Please do that and subscribe.
Yes.
Love the Eagle with We the People on that.
She talked
about, talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so the Rainbow Warriors mission, that is what this event is all about. It is a fundraiser for the Rainbow Warriors. And with my little small team, created the Rainbow Warriors. I founded it back in 2013, along with the seal that we came out with, because I started doing bicycle tours in 2011. And I did bicycle tours all across the country and in Mexico. For 4 years, I was on the bicycle, literally. And I never was a bicyclist in my life. That's another story in and of itself. People thought I was crazy and dumb, but I didn't care. But anyway, the Rainbow Warriors, the Pure Integrity Verified seal was born because of that. I didn't want another label, but after going on my bicycle tours and touring different facilities and people that wanted to sponsor me and get me to recommend those products, I would only do organic. But I found fallacies within the organic world, even of all of the stuff that they were using in their facilities. And I'm like, this is not right. And that whole story is complete on pureintegrityverified.org. You will find the Pure Integrity Verified seal. And then my bicycle tour missions is on fuelforthebody.net. That website right there, fuelforthebody.net, you'll see everything that you desire to know about me and all of my missions. The Rainbow Warriors was born because there had to be a group, an organization. The Pure Integrity Seal stood for clean food, clean water, clean air, and clean textiles. People don't put their clothing into the fact of sickness, but it definitely is, and we explained why. So the Rainbow Warriors mission, and if you'll read on there what the Cree Indians, it's actually in Revelation as well, and I have that listed on. There will be a new website from Fuel for the Body, but if you go on fuelforthebody.net right now and you click the Rainbow Warriors tabs, and it's all right there, for very easy to click to, you will see the Revelation chapter along with the Cree Indians. And the gist of it is that we are the destroyers of the planet. Even in the book of Revelation, it says there will come a time, and now for the world will be ravaged and savage and all this stuff. And that's also what the Cree Indians say, and they call it the Warriors of the Rainbow. And they will not be selected or elected or selected, they will be called upon. So anyway, that's what the Rainbow Warriors mission is, to stand for and implement the Pure Integrity Verified Seal: clean food, clean water, clean air, clean humanity. So we have set up projects in Fiji. That is, I've got my project going over in Fiji, which I'm not going back to until 2023. We have a small community over there that we teach people how to grow organic farms, and we build eco-friendly and sustainable communities so people can come and live in or rent at. My farmers over in Burkina Faso, Africa, have their little homestead and their organic farms that are absolutely amazing over in Burkina Faso. We have our homestead and our Rainbow Warriors land, and that we're building our sustainable community. We've already got our gardens built over there in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And now we are looking to acquire land over here between Mountain View and Jasper, Arkansas, to do our Rainbow Warriors land here. Then my friend, Holistic Chef Barry, is in Phuket, Thailand, and we have some acreage over there that we have the Rainbow Warriors mission. So the Rainbow Warriors mission is worldwide, and it is to create organic, clean, toxic-free, sustainable living communities. So whenever the fit does hit the shan, then you have a place that you can go to.
Love it. And then we have the Hungry for Health and Freedom. So let's get to that.
Yes, so the Hungry for Health and Freedom Confluence and Gala. So that is super exciting. I'm super excited about this. It will take place in February of 2022. Now, this will be our 5th one that we have done in a decade. I've skipped 5 years because I've been traveling, lived in Fiji, lived in Mexico, and I've just traveled all over the place, right? People found out I was back. They're like, oh, do another one. I'm like, So I said, okay. And then my partners, Team India, with the Rainbow Warriors, they are presenting our conference. They are helping us do so much with it. So this is a 3-day event. It's super exciting. We have 2.5 days full of vendors, holistic vendors, healing vendors, gardening vendors, all of the health and wellness vendors and patriotic vendors that you can think of. And then we have a confluence of speakers such as Chris. Yay, Chris is going to be one of our amazing speakers. You'll find him on the website as well. So we'll have speakers from patriotism. We'll have speakers from like Christopher Key with the vaccine police, my friend Mary Toko, the vaccine expert, myself. We have the team in India. We have people speaking in Australia. Of course, those will be Zoom, but most people will be in person. And so that will be taking place on Friday and Saturday and part of the day on Sunday. Really, definitely, you will thank your higher self for attending. You will get so much information. You will be so empowered, and you will just leave with a breath of awesome, fresh goodness, clean air. And then the eve now of February 13th, on Sunday eve now, will be our amazing farm to table dinner gala, which is served by none other than my awesome, amazing, organic, world-renowned chef's son, Coachy Pate, and he will be presenting foods from all the farmers that are local. Now, of course, we'll get our ingredients from the local health food stores, but every farmer will be acknowledged, from the vegetables to the herbs to the meat to whatever. And so it is a wonderful, it will be the doors will open on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. and for silent auction, because we will have silent auction bidding going on. Again, it's a fundraiser, and then we will have a juice bar and chocolate bar, and he's going to have an antipasta bar set up for our first course. So when the doors open at 4, and then after that, we will start moving inward, where you will see the videos and the slides of everything that we have been doing across the world, and show you how we are maintaining our integrity and how we are implementing these solutions for the world of this seemingly chaos. And then there you will be delighted with your taste buds to the fine dining buffet style assisted buffet. So we'll have people to assist you with the buffet of this wonderful food to nourish your body, mind, heart, and soul. And remember, our slogan, this is not a movement. This is a way of life. Health and freedoms is a way of life. This is not a bandwagon. This is not a fad. This is not a fashion. This is a way of life. We live for this. So it's all to live for. We live it.
I love it. Who is this gentleman right here in the middle?
That, I think, let me see. Oh, actually, that guy was my former husband. We've been apart for many years now, but he was a good supporter.
I think I know him.
He was law enforcement. His name was Tommy Pate. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, Shelby County Sheriff's Department. And then he worked on the big hurricane. He did undercover, I mean, not undercover, but he did private security in different hurricanes, Hurricane Katrina mainly. He did high risk security.
I met him and I don't know where I met him. It's driving me crazy.
I don't know. He only would go to, he travels a lot with his work. I mean, he lived in New York for a year and a half, and he went to Washington State for a year and a half. He was at Hurricane Katrina for almost 2 years, and then lived in Memphis, Tennessee, the rest of all of his life.
Okay, it's bizarre. All right, to get off topic. So 11th through the 13th, that is a black tie affair, correct?
Yes, the dinner gala is. Just because it's fun, and I mean, we're not saying, oh my God, you have to be black tie affair, but it's just nice and it's fun. And the dinner tickets will go on sale this eve now. We will have the page up to purchase the dinner tickets. Actually, it's your in-kind awesome gratitude for us because we do work as a out of the system. Our ministry is set up and recognized by the IRS. However, we are completely on the private side. So you will get to hear from myself as well as other awesome speakers, that is the consultant to our Rainbow Warriors, to teach you how to exit the matrix, exit their system without ever having to pay taxes again. I have 2 brick and mortar stores that I opened without taxes, and the cities love me. The IRS loves me. So this is a completely out of the system. The health department does not even bother me at all. So this is a way that you can contribute to something that does not get backed by the government, that does not have government funding, and that will not be sold out by the government. This is something that you're contributing to, that you can be part of the Rainbow Warriors team as well. And I do have a sign up on my website, tourforthebody.net, if you inquire to be a Rainbow Warrior, which is totally free. I do a lot of free stuff.
I love it. And I'm just going through and just letting people see,
That's our
how
previous
cool this
event
is.
that we had.
Yep.
Yeah, our previous events, we've had people from Dr. Patrick Vickers from Baja Institute that does the Gerson therapy. We've had Chris Ward from Chris Beats Cancer. Let's see, Bob Wright, he wrote the book Killing Cancer, Not People. He runs the American Anti-Cancer Institute. Of course, Mary Tocco. We've had Vince Spinelli with USA Prepares. We've had a lot of big speakers that speak, and we have more coming this year as well. And again, that website is mybestlifefiji.com. And yes, there's a reason why it's called My Best Life Fiji, because that's where our headquarters is. And it will be at the lovely Radisson. I'm glad you shared that page, because at the Radisson Hotel is where the Confluence will take place. And the dinner gala is to be announced at a later now. But anyway, that will be that Sunday. Yeah, it's something that you will definitely want to attend, because it's something that's different, because we include a black tie dinner gala, whenever you purchase that. So when you purchase, whenever you give a gratitude for the dinner plates to get into the gala, then you're automatically get admission to the 2.5-day vendor and Confluence of speaker events. And most of these events and speakers will charge a whole lot. Now you would think, it's just a festival, it should be whatever. Well, it's not just a festival. This is a conference.
Yeah, the events that I've been at since April charge 3 to 4 times as much, and you're not in a black tie affair, and all you're doing is getting speakers after speaker after speaker. So yeah, this is definitely, and then the speaker page will be back up, right?
Yeah, the speaker page is up now. If you click on the speakers, if you click on the next tab under the, it's under.
I got it.
Yeah.
So this is people that are speaking now. I know people want to see this. I love this because this is such an array of, like you said, health, wellness, freedom, faith. There's Isabel, there's all her stuff, and you can read about this on his page. What I love that she did is, she really took the time and put these speakers out there and really promoted them. Here's another, I can't wait to meet this one, this lovely lady, Rochelle Marie. Yep, she has a podcast too, so I'm excited about that. My buddy Christopher Key. When me and him together, look out. If two shall agree, so shall it be. We just laugh together all the time. And then you're going to see Pat Davis. This is really extraordinary, me being a model, because she was a professional dressmaker and fashion designer.
Yes, absolutely. I was looking at your fashion wardrobe and she would be all over that. She does high class designs, but it's all out of toxic-free sustainable material, not reused, not recycled, but all toxic-free, from organic cotton to hemp to linen to wool to silk. Yeah, so it's all, because it does matter. Her platform is Consumers Against Toxic Apparel, and she's my sister partner.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to meet her. And then none other. So I give her like 20 pictures and she chooses the flex one. I think it's hysterical. I love it. I love it.
I thought it was great.
Look, you know why? Look, rip the Band-Aid off, right? Because for me, the hardest thing is people get away, once they get away from the way I look and then they hear me speak, then it's like, okay, wait a second. I didn't expect that. So none other.
Yeah, that's why I put it up there like that, because people don't expect it. And this is lovely news. She's from India. She'll be on Zoom. And we have many more speakers coming. The speaker page is still being in works and if you want to be a speaker, please let Chris know. Hit us up. And that is DC from India, of course, Mary Toko, the vaccine expert.
Yep. Can't wait to meet her.
We have even more coming in. We have probably a couple of surprise speakers because they haven't. Now, this is a testimony you will want to hear. She's not necessarily going to be a speaker. She is my daughter, and she is a living, breathing testimony of how, when you do turn back to God, and whenever you do live the life that we live, she went from being on the streets for almost 12 years.
Wow.
Because of the lifestyle that she chose at age 15. I was there for her, but my son and I wouldn't turn our backs, but we would shut the door on her.
Yeah, sure.
I went without talking to her, but she was a bad heroin addict.
Wow.
And heroin and meth and cocaine, seller of all the drugs. She was way in the top dogs field is what she was, but she didn't play like the top dogs. She decided to get addicted to what she sold. And horrible, the road of destruction, losing her family, losing her children, just horrid news. But she is going to tell you of how she turned around with our influence. She has now been clean and sober for over 3 years and has a beautiful, another little girl, but it's okay. She knows what she's done wrong now, and she has accepted that she has to pay those consequences that are still sneaking up on her. So she is she will answer people's questions. So if you have anybody that is an addict, anybody that's with alcoholism, drug use, or even in the wrong crowds, you definitely want to get them over there during the 2.5 day part, because she will be there. She will be at my booth probably, and she will be there to answer questions, and I will have her on stage just to ask her a few questions. She's not a speaker, just to let you all know, but if you have any addicts, that is definitely her journey is called Jordan's Journey from Broken to Beautiful.
Wow. I saw that. It didn't dawn on me that she was your daughter. And because she had the smallest one, I was like, that's somebody I'm going to target. Like I wanted to talk to. And then just hearing the story, and I'm just going to say this and you'll hear my testimonial there, but she's letting her mess be a message, right?
Yes.
And I always say that right now, it's and why I want to have a revival in March in Jersey, Delphia, is because it's time for the revival and we're the remnants. We're the misfits. Like I was watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer last night. Misfits, right? I was singing the song Misfits. Why? Because we're the misfits. You're a misfit. I'm a misfit. Daughter's a misfit. Your son's a misfit. But guess what? We didn't fit in. We don't fit in now, and that's a good thing. But now we're battle tested to go and spread the word of Jesus Christ and tell that even if your daughter's not a speaker, I can't wait to meet her. But even though she's not a speaker, her getting up there and telling her testimonial will, you know, like when you throw a rock in like the river or lake, it has that ripple effect. Your daughter is going to have that ripple effect.
Yes.
Because it doesn't, and that's these events that I'm so pissed about, because these people are like, oh, I'm dying to have dinner with this person. I'm dying to have lunch with this person at this table. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, if Jesus Christ came down, that table that you're dying to sit at with the people you think are good and great, and wholesome, he would take that whip, whoosh, whip that table and turn it upside down because of the people that are at that table. But people like Jordan, people like your son, that's a table where people should want to line up to be at, because those are the stories. Those are the stories that are going to change the world.
Yes.
Jordan's story, I've got a person already in mind. I'm sure they're going to be there. And even said, oh my gosh, even if I fly out that one night for the black tie, and I'm like, now I see why they were an addict, and you know, they kicked it 3 years, you know, they've been clean, same thing, alcohol, drug, same thing. And it's unbelievable. I talk about it on my podcast all the time. Talk about a woman that, and I'll share this with you because it's really cool, because one day she's going to tell her story.
Right.
But what happened is she swore men off for 3 years or so, and was in a situation because of her son, and wasn't happy, was living in a prison, you know, kind of like with her son's dad. Still not having no, you know, relationship whatsoever, just co-parenting. But for 3 years, that's a long time. And just was working, no play. If she didn't meet somebody, she would fly out and meet them, you know, and it was like, that's it, hit and run. And then, you know, she let a guy hug her, just hug her one night. And then, boom, this whole woman's world completely, utterly changed, to the point where she got out of that situation. She was on a couple of, you know, drugs that she's been on for 15 years, done with that, done, like done. You're talking 15 years, like done, right? And now building a brand new home, living life to the fullest. She goes, man, I feel things. She goes, I feel things I never felt before. I said, yeah, because you were numb to that. And it's just an unbelievable, you know, one day there's going to be a story, there's going to be a book, because it's such a powerful testimony of humanity, you know, and I can't wait. I'm going to make sure she's there and she meets your daughter, because them two together is going to be, you know, is really, and, you know, she says it all the time. She said, God had me, God had me, God had me, God had me. And oh, by the way, that day before that guy hugged her, she gave her life back to Christ that morning.
Nice.
So, you know, when you think God's not working, he is. And once you have Jesus Christ inside of you, I'm telling everybody this, once you have him inside of you, you always have him. He never leaves you. He never leaves you. Although you might not think he's with you, he is. And he was working on this girl. And she even said, she's like, you know what, Chris? I was always one choice away from being homeless, from being in the streets, right? To like that one bad choice. And she made a lot of bad choices, but she's like, I always teetered on that fence. And if I went one more choice, I would have been, you know, like on the streets, you know, no family, you know, and unbelievable. And when I hear stories like that, I get so impacted more so than listen to a polished politician up there shouting about, you got to vote, you got to vote, you got to vote. Like those are the stories at my events that I want to hear. You might not know that person. It doesn't matter. That's God's child. And that is God's miracle. And that's what you need to be hearing. Not these Luciferian people. Oops, I said that. Yes, I did. That are turning devout Christians into this new world Christian. And I didn't use my words either,
Absolutely.
And so your daughter is really a special person. So is your son. Obviously, you're special. And wait, we're when I say the nut doesn't fall far from the tree,
right?
This is exactly the case, and we'll end it here because I'm going to bring her back on. We already have the date, I believe, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. Sometime in February.
I think it's the first week in February. We're going to bring her on. We're going to talk about it. We'll have all the speakers lined up. We'll have all the lectures lined up. We'll go through each and every one of them. I'm going to have them on my show from now to then. That way I can introduce them, to you guys. But when you find out about her dad, you will literally have to, and I kid you not when I say this, you're going to have to get a bowl of popcorn and a beverage and just sit there and watch it on the biggest screen TV you have in and turn that volume up. Because when you hear what this woman's father did back in what year? We said 90s, 80s?
Early. I mean, ever since I was born, he was doing this, and what he did in the army in the 50s.
50s. So we're going back to the 50s. So when you've heard about me talking about evil and Luciferianism and judges and cops all being compromised, you're going to hear, and not only are you going to hear, but you're going to start to believe, I believe, no pun intended, that it is so true. Because if I say it, another person, we can't all get together and make up these stories, these glamorous stories. And I'm telling you, I have never been moved like I was moved the other night when she talked about her dad, because I've never met somebody where she said in the beginning, it's not that I have to relearn. See, I had to relearn, right? We Flexies had to relearn because everything we've been told has been a lie, right? Her dad knew about everything.
Everything that he spoke to me is what's happening.
Everything. It was almost like he was a Nostradamus.
Yes, it was. Even though he's my dad, you all will want to listen to this story, and a story that will tie into another story that I didn't share with Chris, but it ties into the rest of the journey of also the reason why my daughter was on the streets, and it had to do with their biological dad, my first husband. So that will be tied into that story. Then you will realize what my true mission is. I've set back. I don't go out and pound a lot anymore. I'm not a vigilante anymore because I've learned my lesson. I've done the hokey pokey and I turn myself around inside the jail cells. I don't have a record. By the way, I don't have a record, but I have been captured because of wrongdoing, and not because of my wrongdoing, but I'll share that with you. But this whole journey with my daughter, you will see how all of this is really going to resonate with each one of you, from addiction to my dad's story to the other part of the story to my daughter wants to turn the whole system around because she got to see her own self inside for 9 months, and she got to see this revolving door of other people that she saw, that she was like, oh my God, that's me. So she wants to turn the system, and she wants to get a message to the probation officers because it's all messed up. So my daughter, we're working on that. So maybe by February, well, not maybe, we should have another platform for her so that people can really sign up and help her make the difference, be part of Jordan's journey, and then be part of this. And what you all are going to hear in the next episode about this story of, well, you heard part of about my daughter, but about my dad, I don't have any proof to tell you all, because I'll just give you one little hint. It was all burned, okay? But what I'm going to reveal, you definitely want to listen to Chris's podcast and share it everywhere, because what he's been telling you all this time. Like he said, we all don't get together and make up these stories, right? I've never met Chris in my life. And I don't speak out. You won't see any of this on my website. You won't see anything except for Jordan's story. You won't see any of this because I've learned I'm not going to do that anymore. I've been tagged. I've been flagged. My passport has been taken away. I am out of the system, but I do have an old passport that I still use, and they flagged it. I'm a terrorist. A true story. I get arrested every time my feet hit USA soil.
Wow.
So whenever you all hear this message, you'll realize what is really going on. That you think you know what's going on right now, and you probably do. Kudos. But even me, I'm not a know-it-all. Even me and what my dad taught me, I still don't know, but I have a pretty darn good handle on it. So yes, definitely want to tune into his podcast then.
Love it, love it, love it. And, guys, we're going to end with that. And we always end, with a prayer, and we do the salvation prayer. And Isabella, thank you so much, man, for your knowledge, for your wisdom, just for your truth. That's why I have this platform. This is not so much about me to tell the truth. Gio put it on me about my podcast. He said, Chris has a platform, Flex the Truth, so other people have a platform to come and speak the truth, right? And so this is not about disinformation or misdisinformation. This is about real life people having real life true stories. And that's what I'm about. And to me, that's more powerful than any other politician or any other glamorous person that you think is on your side, but they're truly not. So, you're sitting there going, what is Isabella drinking? What is Chris drinking other than IGF-1, right?
Truth serum.
Yeah, truth serum. But the truth serum is, look, 17 years, I was a born again Christian. I was saved 17 years, 16 years. I went to school and I learned about Jesus Christ. Up until the last year, I did not know him intimately. Now think about that. If you have a spouse, you have a significant other. It's one thing to be with them. It's another one to know them intimately. My brother said something to me so profound. He just came back from Aruba with his girlfriend, and he couldn't speak. Like, he had no words. Like, he kept saying, I just watched her. I just watched her. He's like, Chris, I love her so. He's like, he couldn't even say I love her that much. Like, he was so, as he was telling it, he was reliving it. He's like, I saw her. He's like, I picked the right one this time. I am so in love with this woman. Like, he fell back in love with her. He intimately now knows her. And he has a whole nother level of respect and love for this woman. That was me and God. Mm-hmm. That was me and God over a year ago when I put my hands up in the church, like I always do, and worship. And I want to explain that. Why are people putting their hands up? Here's why. So most people put their hands up like this to praise, right? We praise God. Or some people go like this. Sometimes I do this, depending on the song or how I feel. When I do this, it's because I want to hug him. I want to feel his arms wrapped around me. And I want to feel that. Remember when you were a little child and your dad would come home, or your mom, whoever you were closer to, and you would just what? Your dad would have his arms open, or your mom would have her arms open, and you would run so hard, what? Into their arms. And so that's why you see people doing that, right? Is that we are hugging Lord, our Father, our natural Father. And so being a Christian, being a born again Christian, all that means is that you are born in the image of Christ now. Is that there's only one way to our Father. That is through Jesus Christ. That means you have to repent all your sins. Chris, I committed murder 6 years ago. I don't care. He don't care. Repent all your sins. Well, I cheated on my wife. It Doesn't matter. It does not matter what sin you created. Well, I had a same-sex lover. It doesn't matter. As long as you repent your sins now and you are sorry for them, accept Jesus Christ in your heart and denounce Satan. That's it. That's it. And once you do that, like Isabella and I talked all day today, you start to get that stinking thinking out of your head, right? You start to what? You start to think differently. What would Jesus do in this? I used to have road rage. Oh, you know what I do now? When people honk the horn, I go, and it giving me the middle finger. I'm like, no, you're number one, silly. You're number one. I'm not number one. You're number one. Or I blow them kisses. Why? Because of Jesus Christ in me. So I don't act like that, right? And they say love is patient, love is kind, love is slow in anger, right? So in order to be a good witness to other people, you have to do that, right? So people are always watching. You never know who's watching you. I can't tell you how many times people say that about me, right? They're like, I was watching you. I want to see how you were. I wanted to see how you were with the people that, came up to you at the events. And they're like, wow, like you're always the last one. You'll say, you'll kick me out. I'm the last one to leave. And I normally have a group of people around me and we're just talking. We're just talking for hours. So you mean after the event, you're still talking? Yes, because it's about the people. It's about you. So with that being said, now I explained everything. If that is you, I feel like I'm talking to one or two people right here, right now, that's watching the podcast. All you can do is just sit where you are. You don't have to get dressed up for Jesus Christ, just sit where you are. Maybe raise your hand and just say this small prayer. Say, Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry for the sins that I committed. I repent my sins now for everything I've done. I apologize for them. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving me your only begotten Son to come down, save me from my sins, to give me grace and mercy that I did not deserve. Where he was persecuted, he died and he rose from my sins, for me. Thank you so much. I denounce Satan. I accept Jesus Christ into my heart. I now know I'm a child of God and I'm heaven bound. Congratulations. If you said that, you are now a Christian and you are on your way. So now what do? You open up a Bible. Chris, I don't have a Bible. Okay. Go online. Go to a Bible. Me personally, I like to do King James, right? That's a good one. You don't want to do a modern day Bible because he changed the verses, right? So you want to go to the older one and open up Proverbs. What? Proverbs. Read a proverb a day. Why? Because you can apply that to your life. It talks about marriage and money and careers and life. Everything in the Bible is for you to apply your life to. Read a proverb a day. And then after that, read Corinthians. And then just start picking out books to read. And you don't have to recite Bible verses. All you have to know is the word of God. So Isabella, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I want to pray for you right now. I want to pray for Jordan. I want to pray for your son, Cody, right? I want to pray for this event. I want to pray for the speakers at this event, for the vendors at this event, for everybody behind the curtain, so to speak, for the Radisson Hotel that is going to have us, for the city of Branson, Missouri to have open arms and open heart and more importantly, open ears to us, that we put a hedge of protection around all this, like a bubble, like the thousands of angels come, are raining upon us, encircling all of us so that we can get this word out to the people, because we know where there is light, there's dawn. And I want to pray that, Jordan gets her message out, that Cody gets his message out, that there are people right now, right here that are listening and going, I can't wait to meet Cody. I can't wait to meet Jordan. I can't wait to meet Isabella. That right there is worth the price of admission if you meet those three people right there. So it's been a pleasure. Remember, guys, always align yourself up with Jesus Christ, and you'll align yourself up with others by flexing your mind, flexing your muscles, and flexing the truth. Now you're aligned with Jesus Christ. You can go out, do his work, his will, his way, most importantly, with his words, with other people, and spread the love. God bless you. I'll talk to you later, Isabella.
All right.
I'll see you
Thank
guys. Bless up.
I'm gonna go work my livet now. Everybody get on your livet.
Take care. God bless.
Bye.